Hi, I'm Jonathan Ayest, and this is Psychology of Improvising. So this is some more thoughts on knowledge, particularly on acquiring the first steps of knowledge, the first bits of knowledge, as we start to improvise. Now, I've mentioned that starting to improvise is rather like entering a new terrain, a new landscape. It's very much about learning to move within an unfamiliar environment. It's a mental environment, but also kind of physical, because I'm putting my hands on the instrument. I'm making pathways in sound. It's knowledge in real time. So there's a lot of there's a lot of theory, a lot of musical theory involved, but there's also a lot of physical knowledge. It's what movements work. If I move my fingers and shapes, and if I make certain shapes with my fingers, that results in particular musical events. And those events I start to categorize over time. At first, everything is kind of confusion. It seems that my fingers move in certain ways, certain sounds emerge, and there's little kind of control. Also, events move very fast. I'm not able to really control my movements within this new environment. Everything is rushing past. It's like trying to drive at top speed through an unfamiliar city with no visibility and without being able to look ahead. But that's one of the horrible things about novice improvising, is this feeling of lack of control. But as you keep repeating events and keep having a go, certain things become repeated, and they become familiar, and they become categorized or labeled, if you like. And this is a very important part of learning and a very important part of knowledge. Now, Gerald Edelman, the neurobiologist whose writings I used a lot in my thesis, he says that the world becomes labelled as a consequence of behaviour that leads to particular selective events within neurostructures in each animal. And this process of labelling, leads to the formation of relevant perceptual categories. We're talking in terms of neural formations now. And the association of behaviours with certain constellations of those categories in an adaptive manner. So we're talking about our neural structures changing as a result of us trying to improvise. And they're changing because we're starting to recognise events, and we're starting to link certain actions with certain perceptions of sound within this new landscape. And that is the process of categorization. We may not be able to control things, we may not have an advanced control of musical language yet, but we have the first steps, and that is categorization.